Hello out there, and welcome to another broadcast. Broadcast number, well, I lost track of the numbers. There's been so many broadcasts. So today, the eighth day of August, not the eighth day, no, the 24th day of August, 2025. We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube. This is a special edition of Jay and the Giffer. I'm the Giffer. Jay, the star of our show, Mr. Met. He will be with us in a moment as soon as I get him. Jay will be right with us. The topic today, of course, is baseball, primarily Mets baseball. Let me see how, this might work. It might work good. It's working good for Facebook. Let's see how we can do this here. If I can make it any higher. Yes. Hang on, folks. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. And so that's why I need a producer. No, we have to put it. We got to raise this. We have to raise this. Yes. Now we're going to be good for. Well, we'll be good. Yeah, we should be good for YouTube too. Facebook coming in clear. We got to get Jay, the star of the show, here. We got to get Jay on the on camera here. Let's get it up here. Hello, Jay. We're on the air already. Yes, you'll see you will hear a great beginning theme. Just trying to get this a little bit more set for the YouTube audience. It's gotta bring you up just a little. Oops, there we go. Bringing you up just a little bit better for the. My goodness, we really need a producer. We need a producer. All right, I think we got it pretty good. Facebook is definitely a good one. We're good. Let me turn this so it's a little better. The thing is coming up. Okay. So, absolutely. How about that?
June 11th, 1979. I had 11 Yankees. Bronx Zoo was a fairly new book. And I had about 11 Yankees signed the book. And I met Lou Piniella. And I told Piniella that it was my birthday. We had the same birthday. And he said, "How old are you?" And I said, 21. And he frowned and walked away. He was 36. That means Pinella's going to be 83 this week. He was really nice.
Saw a clip of Piniella at Yankee Old Timers Day. So he's still going strong. Still going anyway. That's a great story. Big Lou, sweet Lou. Lou would come up to bat and you'd hear Lou and the announcer would always have, "Those are not boos, those are Lou's."
So it's underargument here, but
Yeah. So I don't know if you had a chance to, if you want to comment on my last critical video.
I listened to it all. I listened to it last night, and I do have some comments. So on the whole, I'm on your side. I agree with you. You had some weak points and some strong points, I thought. The thing about all the teams that are under 500, I mean, that's just life. That's just baseball. The Mets were under 500, went 500 on August 20, 73. They wound up winning the pennant. And it seems now that, like you say, 2 games, 8 games under 500. That's just baseball. You're going to go any sport. You're going to have some teams under 500, some teams over. So I don't really know where you were going with that one.
Well, I'll tell you where I'm going. It's not so much that they're under 500, but there's these teams that are way under 500.
Well, that's another point, right?
I mean,
not the teams. You're not going to eliminate a team that's 8 games under 500.
No.
Or even like the A's. The A's were horrible a couple of years ago, and they have a good young farm system. And I think they're only 12 now. So
my point is there's too many teams. There's always, and the teams change from year to year or from time period to time period. Who's bad?
Right.
But there's always teams that are so bad, like the White Sox this year, the Rock. They're so bad. There's just not enough good players to go around.
Well, I think that's the biggest point in your argument. See, I would start that argument by saying, if you look at the quality of major league pitching, you can't possibly expand. I mean, every team has 5 good pitchers, 6 good pitchers. So it's ridiculous. Out of 13 pitchers, so half the pitchers in the major leagues today don't belong in the major leagues.
Right.
Well, you can expand. I mean, it's just going to get worse and worse.
It's going to get worse, right?
Right. No, I agree with that. The thing with the 2 terrible teams is, like, I don't know if you can litigate or legislate that someone don't care about winning, or if maybe one of the owners, like I was thinking when I was listening to you yesterday's show, the point that, let's say, the Houston Astros were terrible. Like, not that like 12 years ago or 10 years ago, and 2 years later, they've been a contender. So they actually all right.
They changed leagues too, and then they got good all of a sudden.
Yeah, we don't. See, we're traditionalists, right? Like, and I'm going to be 68. We're roughly the same age. So, we're traditionalists.
Well, I mean, also, like, Washington stinks too. I mean, there's at least 4 teams that stink right now, and 2 or 3 others that are they're bad.
But that'll be the case in any scenario.
That's why I'd get rid of 4. I'd get rid of 4 teams right off the bat, and maybe 5 or 6. And those players, and a couple of those players from each teams would be dispersed onto other teams. Maybe they have 2 or 3 good players, but that's it, and they can go bolster the lineup of other teams.
Well, it kind of ends up happening like McMahon going to the Yankees. I mean, that kind of works itself out.
Perfect example.
They're not going to eliminate 4.
No, they're never going to do it.
But certainly,
they should.
Expansion, terrible idea, and mostly I think that's because of the pitching. And the other thing, I completely agree with you. I mean, Howie Rose said it well in that article that you cited. Like obliterating National American League, that would just be terrible.
Yeah, now,
and here's the other thing. If you want to eliminate, like, traveling, you say, okay, that's going to be good. You should want to travel us. Why does a team have to play every other baseball? If you want to eliminate, meaningless travel, the old system was good. You played 90 games a season, teams in your own division, and 72 games against teams in the other division.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, major West Coast trips here, or 3. Like, Mets would play Dodgers, Arizona, and all in one trip. I mean, so that's not an argument either. Just go back to the old, where you play mostly teams in your own division.
Exactly. Yeah. And I lost my train of thought there. I had some. Yeah, so that's a good point. Is definitely to go back to the old system. That's all. Oh, I did see. Now I remember. I did see another scenario today where they didn't eliminate the AL and the NL. They added the teams, but it was AL East, NL East, AL Central, NL Central. So they still had the AL and the NL, which that's a big sticking point for me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They got to keep.
That's been baseball for the last 100 years, right? I mean, can't eliminate the leagues. That's a huge part of baseball's tradition.
Right.
And I like it. That alignment where you talk about like a division, the Mets, Phillies, Red Sox, and Yankees. That takes all the charm out of all those rivalries. You're playing each other all the time.
It's too much. Right. Yeah, it'd be too much. Too many times. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So what's going on with the New York Mets? They're winning.
No, I wouldn't say that. They won the last 2 games. I think they still lost like 18 or 25 or something like that.
So do you think that maybe they should schedule more games with the Braves or?
Well, that's kind of an irony because that's the best place that I ever wanted to go. And you talk about, I mean, the Braves never have a bad team. I mean, this is a real
unusual
because they have a lot of players hurt. They have the 2 best pitchers season. They have a lot of players hurt. They've had some bad luck the last few years, and even last year they had everybody hurt. They still won 59 games. So to see the Braves playing poorly is really almost weird.
Yeah.
But when the Mets down there earlier in the season, the Braves mopped them up. But they had Sale and they had the other guy. I never get his name right. Schneider, Weiss or something. But whatever. The other best pitchers out for the season too. They beat us when we first went down there. The Mets have some good signs, although. So my biggest thing with the Mets is a simple thing. It's interesting. The last few games, I think I texted you that the biggest problem is the starting pitching and guys not being able to go ever past like the 5th inning. So the 2 biggest keys to the season going forward are second and the Mania consistently pitches really well for 3 or 4 innings and then he falls apart. Second can't get out of the 5th inning. I mean, those are coming into those are supposed to be our 2 best pitchers, right? So if those guys can only 4 or 5 innings, we have. But here's what's really interesting: in the last turn through the rotation, Peterson won 8 innings. McClain, who we could talk about, looks very interesting, pitched 7 innings, and Home they even let go into the 7th. Now, I think this might be finally a change in toward what I've been advocating all along, because Holmes from the last time they took him out after 5 innings and said, well, he's thrown 75 pitches and he's already thrown more innings than last year. So listen, and that's stupid. You don't base your pitching strategy on how many innings the guy threw last year. It's ridiculous. But now, to me, maybe Mendoza and the Mets are finally getting the message. Right. Stay with these guys later into the games. But what always happens is that 5 or 6 pitchers, and the Mets found out they got 2 who haven't done well at the trading deadline. Then you're counting on 4 or 5 also to have a good day, and it hardly ever happens.
So maybe they're like tired of bringing Stanek into the games, and so they want to start it to go longer.
There's an example of expansion. What are you going to have? You're going to have like 40 more pitchers, like Stanek quality. He's terrible. He's real terrible. And if you look at the numbers, I mean, he's just bad. Yeah, he throws 99 miles an hour. That's good. And once in a while, he'll throw he'll get the side down and auto strikeouts. But the next time he gives up 4 or 5 hits in an inning, that's just around. He's terrible.
And who's the guy on the Mets now? Rogers. He's like Ted Abernathy's grandson.
Right. So he's
Mm-hmm.
5 years. No one ever heard of him. He had a 1.80 ERA. he could throw every day. The weird thing about him is 84 miles an hour. So the big thing is that that's supposed to throw everybody off. You know, he had good numbers and he has good. Actually, it's not like typical sidearmer. Like he's just good against lefties and righties, but he hasn't done very well with the Mets so far. Hey, list. And Helsley's been terrible.
Roger, interesting to watch. I like watching him. I like watching those submarine pitches.
Yeah, no, not all. You don't have anybody like. There might be one or two guys in the majors like that now, but I couldn't name them.
So now,
Colby.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Kenta Colby?
No, Kent Colby was another guy.
He's the one, he had the glasses.
Yeah, and he was like incredibly thin. He was like Chris Sale.
He was on this, was it the 79 Pirates?
He was on the 79 Pirates.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was 71. He had a pretty long career. I think he stole for the Pirates.
That's an interesting trivia. Like, who was on the 71 Pirates that was also on the 79 Pirates? Yeah.
Was traded to the 76. He was playing with the 79, but not in the 71.
He was the first baseman on the 79 Pirates? I'd be surprised. I do not remember. Wow. But I saw something about it the other day. I didn't realize Al Oliver was played first base. I didn't realize he ever played first base. Yeah. Right. Yeah, they had Bobby Robertson at first in the early 70s. And Al Oliver is one of these guys that 200 more hits and he's in the Hall of Fame. He's got almost 2,800 hits. He was a great player. Exactly. Yeah. And now with the way the Hall of Fame has been, like, in my opinion, dumbed down a little bit, letting this guy in, that guy in, they might as well put Pinson and Al Oliver and Rusty in. They're putting in. Oh, yeah, guys that would never have got. Listen, Jim Rice didn't get in for 14 years. All of a sudden he's in. So, and he's not the main one. There's other guys that I didn't think. Baines did get 3,000 hits. Yeah. Yeah, that's why we need a producer. We would put up right now how many hits would be right up here.
He was like a John Sterling, and he just something. But he needs to know anything. Like, he'll come with the most, like, how he'll come with some totally obscure net thing, a baseball game that Kasky knows the answer right away, and he tells him. So, yeah, have a producer. It helps. It helps.
Moving on with the Mets. Big week for the Mets.
Yeah, very big week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, it's very, very disappointing. The Phillies are hot. They're playing well. We're 6 games behind them.
Philly, this could be tricky. I mean, the Mets have some breathing room with the Reds now. They got, like, I think 3 games.
2.
Okay, 2.5. Okay, but it's 3. But it's. I'm sorry. Well, I think a couple of years ago, the Phillies were the last wild card, and they they went to the World Series. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a big week. Could be a tricky week for the Mets. If they could get some wins, that would be a big help. But we got to see how that goes. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. The first two pitchers in the series are Senga and Mania. All right, so
Well,
there you go. You know, Senga and Mania is a perfect example. It's now or never. You step up and become two pitchers they're supposed to be, or we're definitely going nowhere if the two of them can't improve. I have a feeling Mania's still hurt, but we'll see how that plays out.
Well, it's not that they can catch the Phillies; it's just that they can stay ahead of Cincinnati. If they don't, you can't lose three in a row to the Phillies, and then if Cincinnati wins a few, and then it's close again. Because right now they got some distance.
Yeah.
You were talking about Senga and Mania. So let me ask you: the Mets put a pitcher on the IL, I think. Who went on the IL? Oh, you must be disappointed. Yeah.
So $34 million contract for 2 years, right? And they were saying last night they go, well, actually it's a player option for the second year. And there's a pause, and the announcer goes, I think he'll probably pick up the option. Yeah, so steal another $17 million. Stuff's for last year, but this year he hasn't been nearly as good. He plays some of the Heat. So, are you hoping that
Danik might join him on the IL, or one or two other guys could just join him? And...
We'll see if that happens. But the young pitching for the future is encouraging. McClain has looked very good, very poised. He makes big spin rate, whatever. But he looks really good. And this is what I was saying for a while. Like bring up the minor leagues with all our starting pitchers not pitching deep into games. But you have Broad, and the best prospect is this guy Jonah Tang, who has good numbers in Double A. Now he's pitched twice in Triple A, and he's still doing well. But he had over 220 strikeouts in 158 innings. So we'll see.
Yeah, those are the bad pitchers, the young pitchers that they always seem to come up with.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That we always used to bring up. Yeah, we always used to. I mean, so this is people weren't really focused on that, but they are doing something right if they're bringing up three pitchers that look very promising.
Yeah, instead of bringing in these other guys that keep bringing them into the games and they fail. So it was the Mets had a 12-2 lead on the Braves the other night or something, and Stanek came in, and before you know, it was 12-7.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was yes, maybe that was another one I saw highlights of. Yeah, right. It was 5-3, and you want to hold it there. You want to hold it at 5, and before you know it, it was 9-3, and basically, game over. Yeah. Well, yeah.
On team chemistry, and this year, let's see if
And now you have, I think, in that 12-1 Braves game, your favorite player Soto. I think it was like 9-2. He hit a home run. He homered. It was like that's a yeah. I'm thinking he hit a Reggie Jackson home run. You know, and I think one of the games they lost, maybe that 5-3, that went to 9-3. That game he was like 0 for 5, and yeah, he struck out for the last out. It was like a curve that was curved way out there, and he swung at it. Mm-hmm. Well, he's got 30 something home runs. I don't know how many of them have been meaningful. maybe he's saving it for the playoffs. That's what I noticed about him last year, that he does take pitches. He doesn't just like swing for the fences. He'll take the walk. So that's one positive for him, I think.
Base percentage. He is. Well, a couple of things. What is interesting about him, his home runs are often online drive, and this is the thing. I'm sure his home runs just go over the wall by not that much. And this way, to his credit, because he's more of a line drive hitter. But when you stand, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for the day that he stands there like he does every single time, and that ball hits the wall, and he gets a. I can't wait.
He gets a single, you said?
Yeah, I'll have a single. But he stands at the plate until the ball goes over the wall. So if it hits the wall, I'll have a single.
Imagine if he played in Fenway. He might have a lot of. He might lead the league in singles.
Well, it happened in Fenway.
It did, huh?
Games in a row when he didn't hustle.
It did happen.
Actually,
Huh?
right, it did happen in Fenway. It did. Because the Sunday game against the Yankees with the ball to LeMahieu, and then he hit the ball off the wall. He stood there and watched it and hit the wall.
All right.
So, but that's another thing, like the culture of baseball, like you and I being traditionalists. Like Ted Williams hit a home run final at bat of his career, and he ran around the bases pretty fast, went in the dugout, no curtain call, no nothing. I'm really not against curtain call, something special, but act like you've done it before, and don't show up the pitcher. Yep. That's my thing.
Yep. All right. Any closing comments on the Mets or anything else?
Well, August 22nd was the anniversary of You Gotta Believe. The famous You Gotta Believe, quick thing. Some of you younger viewers may not have been around then, but in August of '73, the Mets were in last place in the National League East. Tug McGraw, after 2 great years, was having a terrible season. He came to the ballpark one day and he started yelling, "You gotta believe." This is leadership. And, he was sick of losing. You gotta believe, running all around. It turned out to be like the day it turned the season around. But M. Donald Grant had a team meeting that day, too. He was a real stuffed shirt from the Met front office. And he tried to give a pep rally, but he thought Tug McGraw was making fun of him. But he wasn't. So it's the Mets, 1973. They beat the Big Red Machine, and they came within 1 game of beating the A's, where their record was 82-79.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That was a great year. That was enjoyable. They were fun games. Mets and Reds, Mets and A's were fun games. And
they were.
Even could have went either way. Both of those series could have gone either way.
Yeah. Both of them
were way better. They were way better. Right. Clutch. Yeah. All right, so we want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, Jay, the star of our show here, Jay and the Giffer, on a well, you make the show. All right, so I have to say goodbye to you so that we can have closing music. I will, absolutely. None. None. All right, Jay. Thank you again. It was the great Jay, Mr. Met, one of the great ones. All right, so we're going to be signing off. We still need a producer. We're signing off. If this guy would, I can't even get a thing to sign off because I got to hear a stupid commercial here and another dumb commercial, and then I can finally get to some sign off music from one of my favorite baseball movies. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you again in another couple of days. These Jay and the Giffers have been becoming weekend standards. And we're going to continue them with some brief weekday interlude shows. Life is looking good.